Today we are going to discuss one of the most important paintings by Salvador Dalí, which is The Persistence of Memory. Well, this is his most famous painting probably, but it only took him 2 hours to finish it. I told you before that it's not too big, so this is how the painting looks in big, but this is how it can be seen when it is displayed. So you can see its dimensions are not too big. Well, so about the type of landscape that Dalí tried to represent, if you look at it, it's basically the Catalonia landscape, Caracas, where he was raised. And it is this type of oniric type of vision, dreamlike. It's almost like a mirage in a desert. And what makes this painting surreal? Well, pretty much everything. But basically the fact that he uses unreal elements, that almost everything is melting. There is this figure, something that is dreaming on the floor. This idea of like steel combined with wood or rocks and oxide type of elements as well. And then combined with this very realistic type of landscape on the top of the painting. Why the title? Because the clocks are representing this idea of ticking, that everything in this life is trying to stay, and the clocks are melting, but it's also persisting, trying to stay with us. They seem to be functioning, but at the same time, they seem to be like dead. What's the symbolism of the clocks then? Basically, they are the ones represented with most details. However, the dimensions are not real because they are huge. And they try to represent this idea of persistence in time, the passing of time. They also represent this idea of almost organic matter like flesh, otherwise it couldn't be melting. What about the use of color and light? It's also quite important in the sense that light divides the painting into parts. The Tenebris part, inspired, yes, by Tenebrism in the Baroque time period, and the illuminated part that is focusing on the landscape area representing his hometown. Color, at the same time, is used to contrast between the warm and cold tonalities. Again, warm represent his youth, his hometown, and the cold tonalities are representing this idea of the passing of time. What are the most important symbols? The ants. Ants represent this idea of rottenness and death. They are on top of a clock that seems to have the color of oxide, so it seems to be like an old clock. So it is closer to the idea of not working, and thus it seems to be dead. Then the clocks, as we said, the idea of flesh and bodies melting. The landscape, the combination between his childhood, Cadaqués, the Mediterranean, and this intriguing figure that apparently it's a self-portrait, and he tried with this to capture the interior. That's why it's described using very soft type of textures. He seems to have like this big nose and also like tongue sticking out. And the eyelashes are almost like the typical mustache that Dalí had. And he seems to be resting, sleeping, emphasizing this idea of the surreal. So in general, we have that concept that we can't escape the passing of time, and it gives us this sensation of anxiety, dark, terrifying, lifeless type of background. So with this, we are done with the description of this wonderful painting. Thank you.